Hello, you're on to an abridged version of Nationwide Today. My name is Ogochukwu Ona. Thank you for staying tuned. Vice President Kashim Shettima has commended entrepreneurs and innovators in Katsina State for their outstanding contributions to economic growth and development. He made this remark at the MSME Clinic Award dinner and DICO Social Innovation Academy graduation ceremony, where outstanding entrepreneurs and businesses were recognized and celebrated. Our reports.
The event was a demonstration to the state's commitment to promoting innovation and enterprise, with checks and certificates presented to the awardees and the first set of 18 graduates who developed 9 innovation projects in health, climate, and agriculture of the DICO Social Innovation Academy. These individuals have showcased exceptional talent, creativity, and determination, and their achievements are expected to have a significant impact on the state's economy. Vice President Kashim Shettima emphasized the crucial role of the MSME sector in driving Nigeria's economic growth and development, saying effort must be made to support and empower entrepreneurs to drive innovation and job creation. The Vice President described Katsina as a beacon of creativity and resilience in northern Nigeria, noting that the state is steadily reviving its long-standing legacy of learning, trade, and craftsmanship.
For bringing on board the architects of modern Katsina. We are mightily proud of you for building Barrister Ibrahim Shehu Shema, or bringing Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, or bringing Colonel Abdul Mumini Aminu, or bringing the elites of Katsina together. We have no business fighting.
It is a powerful way to empower young people, especially those who do not have access to some exposure or resources or otherwise.
The MSME Clinic Award dinner and DICO Social Innovation Academy graduation ceremony is an event that recognizes and celebrates outstanding entrepreneurs and businesses in Katsina State. It provides a platform for entrepreneurs to network, share ideas, and showcase their innovations. In Katsina, Awan Halaru, NTA News.
Girl-child education is at the center of President Bola Tinubu's administration, and no effort will be spared to actualize its goals in Nigeria. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the assurance during a meeting with a delegation from Plan International, led by its Director of Programs, Quality and Innovation, Helen Mfonobong Idiong, to demonstrate the federal government's commitment to girl-child education. Vice President Shettima invited a teenager, Joy Oga, to take over the seat of the Vice President for a day and address the nation. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
I would like to thank you for this opportunity to speak for millions of Nigerian girls. I do not take this opportunity for granted, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Support for the girl child. Joy Oga takes over Nigeria's vice president seat for a day. She is here with Plan International delegation, expressing gratitude for the opportunity to represent millions of Nigerian girls.
Nigeria cannot speak of progress if half of its population is left behind in silence. So today, I call on the government, the policymakers, development partners, and every citizen to act not with sympathy, but with strategy. We must invest in education that is safe, inclusive, and free from fear for every child in Nigeria, not just the girls I'm speaking about here. Enforce laws that prohibit child marriage and uphold the rights of every girl to learn and live freely.
Urging relevant authorities to enforce laws that protect the rights of every girl child, highlighting the need to provide free sanitary products in schools, as well as ensure access to water, sanitation and nutrition for the Nigerian child.
The issue of the girl child is not an issue of political sloganeering, no. It's an existential threat to our nation.
Among other government intervention in the girl child education, the school feeding program remains essential.
Joy's beautiful rendition of her speech. It sounds like music to the ears of all of us, but a music of sadness. But hope springs eternal from the hearts of men and women. And I believe that in President Bola Tinubu, you have an ally that you can believe and invest your trust in. He is quite passionate about girl child education. His wife is a symbol of how, when properly empowered and positioned, a girl child can blossom into a great leader.
And Plan International noted that girls around the world face crisis, and Nigeria is no exception. And Plan International has provided interventions for over 11 million Nigerian children in areas such as education, entrepreneurship, and youth development. The organization urged the government to continue ensuring that girls have access to education and schools remain affordable for all. From the State House, Brahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Now, the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, has begun engagement with 12 pilot states across the country for the implementation of the Lumina 2030 initiative, a national program designed to educate and empower over 1 million girls and women by the year 2030. Lumina 2030, an acronym for learning, uniting, modernizing, innovating, nurturing, accelerating, and harmonizing, is the federal government's bold response to the growing challenges of out-of-school girls, limited access to quality education, and the lack of economic opportunities for women in undeserved communities. The initiative aims to create a pathway for inclusion through accelerated education and skills development, ensuring that no girl or woman is left behind.
Let me emphasize that incorporating this program into the strategic framework as well as the basic education action planning will strengthen our ongoing efforts to not just reduce the number of out of school, but also ensure women, girls empowerment.
We want to see that the states themselves have plans for scale up, have dedicated budget line to ensure that in the near future, every community that do not have a school within the 2 kilometers or at most 3 kilometers, that there is a plan to have a school within that community. We want to see this at the state level.
When fully implemented, Lumina 2030 is expected to transform the lives of more than 1 million girls and women, bridge the gender gap in education, and improve learning outcomes across Nigeria. All right, let's have the next report from our Lagos Network Center, and Adiola is on.
Thank you, Ogochukwuka. Prioritizing women's health, recognizing the critical roles they play in national development and reawakening their potential will contribute immensely to building a vibrant economy. This was re-echoed at this year's Bounty's Muslima Health Forum 6.0 conference in Lagos. Lynn Beneke reports.
Is it the WAEC result?
They came from different walks of life, but with the same purpose: to enhance capacity, opportunities, mentorship, build stronger network, and discuss women's health-related issues. They shared their experiences as a way of learning from each other and networking, prioritizing economic growth and sustainable development for all Nigerians, especially women.
For a woman to optimize herself in all entirety, we must change the narrative. We must not continually carry the burden of others on us while neglecting our own needs.
The forum held 3 panel sessions that discussed health challenges often downplayed by society and need to bring them to the front burner.
Your self-esteem should not be defined by your body shape, whether you are slim, whether you are fat, whether you have a baby, whether you are single or married. It's important to understand that you have been created. Allah has created us to be beautiful women, regardless in different shape. It's one that defines us.
The annual interactive event afforded participants the opportunity to ask and get responses on some salient grey areas.
What can you do when you are experiencing mental health challenges, like when you are unable to sleep well, eat well, or even cope with your normal day-to-day activities? There is what we call the 4 dimensions: the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. You have to take care of all of this.
It has been found out that vegetarian diets, especially with very little amount of animal source foods, have been found to increase the chances of fertility in women.
Experts at the event agree that addressing women's health issues involves proactive personal care, preventive screenings, and broader societal and policy changes. In Lagos, Lynn Beneke, NTA News.
And we're done with a contribution from Lagos. Nationwide will continue with Uduak in Benin.
Benin. Commuters plying the Benin-Lagos Expressway are appealing to the federal government to urgently attend to the dilapidated Ovia Bridge in Edo State. Rosemary Romani reports.
The Ovia Bridge, constructed in the early 70s in Edo State, has suffered neglect over the years. Due to the lack of maintenance, the bridge is now in a deplorable state with broken down accidented vehicles and potholes surrounding the bridge. Recently, a fatal accident involving a trailer and some vehicles claimed lives of many passengers. Some motorists and road users decry long hours spent on the road, as well as accidents and frequent kidnapping they encounter on the road.
Sometimes they use 3 days for this road. By the time you get to the open, you must come down, you must slow down. And by the time you slow down, then there will be opportunity for the kidnapper.
Some people they die, so that they rescue them. Make them safe, some go die, they go rush, they go hospital.
Some villagers now use the road as a business strategy while rendering help to motorists.
If any vehicle gets spoiled or any accident, we come outside to rescue people and try to also secure the vehicle if it's going to stay till the next day.
We have done not less than 4 motions to call the attention of government to this matter, but it is obvious that this is not a state government matter.
Motorists and residents are hopeful that the federal government will soon repair the bridge. In Benin, Rosemary Omani, NTA News.
And that does it from Benin. It's back to Ogochukwuka in Abuja.
Now, a legislation that seeks to combat illegal mining, enforce regulations and safety in mining operations across Nigeria has been passed at the Senate. The establishment of the Nigeria Mines Rangers Service is expected to positively impact the mining sector by enhancing security, promote economic growth through revenue generation, and prevent unauthorized mining, in which an estimated $18.9 billion is lost by Nigeria annually. Meanwhile, Senate is proposing life imprisonment without option of fine for defilement of minors as it amends the Criminal Code Act Amendment Bill. Senate at plenary confirmed the appointment of Dr. Aminu Yusuf as chairman of the National Population Commission, as well as Joseph Kibu and Tonga Betara as commissioners. And the House of Representatives is seeking a national policy to safeguard private investors in free trade zones from unlawful trade union interference. This resolution followed a debate on a motion moved by Representative Alhassan Doguwa, criticizing the recent disruption in Nigeria's crude oil production as a result of the face-off between the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengansin, and the Dangote refinery. Lawmakers argued that the actions of the labor unions breached the rights of companies operating within the free trade zones, saying this could discourage potential investors.
If private investment of strategic national importance are continually subjected to unlawful disruptions by adversarial unionism, Nigeria risks not only the failure of key economic assets, but also the erosion of investor confidence necessary for national growth and economic development.
A lot of people have the interest of investing in our oil and gas, but they have some hesitations and reservations because of the way and manner Dangote refinery is being treated.
We tread with a little bit of caution. Let the relevant committees of the House call all the parties and sit over this, look at it, and come back with recommendations to us.
This motion is referred to the Council of Leadership of the House to be headed by Mr. Speaker.
Meanwhile, to promote fiscal transparency across all levels of government, the House has resolved to probe the use of all financial grants disbursed by the federal government to states and local governments outside FAC allocations.
Urge the Minister of Finance and the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria to provide to the House within 2 weeks a detailed report of all federal government financial interventions outside the FAC allocations extended to the states and local governments from 2023 to date.
The House Committees on Finance, Intergovernmental Affairs and Public Accounts were mandated to ascertain the efficient utilization of federal government grants by the sub-national entities and report back to the House within 4 weeks. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has forwarded a letter to the Senate seeking the confirmation of Dr. Bernard Mohammed Doro from Plateau State as a Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, says Dr. Doro's appointment follows Professor Nentawe Goshwe Yewada's election as the All Progressives Congress APC chairman in July. Yewada previously served as Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Born on January 23, 1969 in Kwal, Bassa, local government area of Plateau State, Dr. Doro has over 20 years of multidisciplinary experience in clinical practice, pharmaceutical management, strategic leadership and community engagement in the UK and Nigeria. He has degrees in pharmacy and law, MBA, focusing on IT-driven business strategy, and a master's in advanced clinical practice. He is an independent prescriber and advanced clinical practitioner with NHS frontline experience across urgent care, walk-in centers, GP practices, and hospital settings. All right, Sadia is in Sokoto, and she has the next report.
The Sultan of Sokoto, President General Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, has called on eligible Nigerians to take part in the ongoing voter registration to enable them exercise their franchise in the 2027 general election. The Sultan gave the charge while receiving the Resident Electoral Commissioner, Independent National Electoral Commission in Sokoto State at his palace. Dalhat Abdullahi has reports.
Voter registration is not just a civic duty for eligible citizens. It is the foundation for the entrenchment of good governance in a democratic setting. It is against this backdrop that the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure transparency and fairness in the conduct of future elections in the country. Earlier, the resident electoral commissioner for Sokoto State, Umar Yusuf Garba, explained that the pre-registration of voters commenced online on August 18, 2025, while physical registration began on the 25th of the same month. The exercise forms part of INEC's early preparations for the 2027 polls and appealed for the Sultan's continued support to encourage wider participation of eligible voters.
Sultan da Sokoto za ta iya bayarwa akan haɗa kan 'yan Najeriya da su sauke nayinsu da kuma haɗin kan ƙasa. Mun zo wannan fada mai alfarma saboda mu nemi addu'arka da hikimominka da kuma goyon bayanka akan wannan hanya tamu ta tabbatarwa cewa an yi hukumar zabe, an yi rijista, an yi da ita kuma lahiya. Muryar karan da mai alfarma kai kanka da kuma ta fada tana dauke da nauyi mai yawa akan wannan abu da za a shigo da mutane.
In a related development, the Sultan also received the comptroller of the Nigeria Correctional Service, Sokoto State Command, Garba Alha Abubakar, whom he commended for reform initiatives aimed at transforming inmates through Quranic education and vocational training. The Sultan described the effort as a worthy reform agenda and called for the decongestion of correctional centers through speedy dispensation of justice in Sokoto. Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
From here, we now return to Ugochukuka in Abuja.
Thank you, Sadia. And from Sokoto, we head to Borno State, where the governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, has called for a comprehensive and multifaceted strategy hinged on broader regional cooperation to tackle the escalating security and humanitarian crisis in the Sahel region. The governor made the appeal while addressing participants at the 5th Aswan Forum for Sustainable Peace and Development held in Aswan, Egypt. The governor, whose state has been at the epicenter of Boko Haram insurgency in the Lake Chad Basin, argued that a purely military solution has proven insufficient, emphasizing that lasting peace can only be achieved by simultaneously addressing the root causes of the conflict. He also called for broader cooperation among countries in the Sahel region and stressed that extremist groups and other criminal networks operate across borders with impunity, and the response must be equally transnational. Beyond security collaboration, the governor also called for improved development in the Sahel countries, identifying poverty, lack of education, and climate change-induced scarcity as key drivers of recruitment for armed groups. Nigeria has requested technical and financial assistance from the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, to support the development and restoration of the Lake Chad Basin with the goal of revitalizing agribusiness, livelihoods, and food security in the region. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, presented a request during a bilateral meeting with the Director General of the United Nations Agency. The minister emphasized the need to strengthen partnerships with the FAO to expand irrigation systems, improve water management, and enhance resilience for smallholder farmers, enabling year-round agricultural production. Kyari further appealed for increased employment opportunities for qualified Nigerians at the FAO's headquarters and global offices, citing Nigeria's commitment to agricultural transformation and food security in response. And Dr. Kunduyo reaffirmed the FAO's commitment to supporting Nigeria's agricultural priorities and advancing shared goals of food security, climate resilience, and rural prosperity. All right, that's Nationwide today. We thank you for joining us on the abridged version.